Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty, and I am your host Scotty McCoy, and I have a guest from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. He played Will, and it is Ira Heiden. Hi Ira, how are you doing?
It's Ira Hayden.
Oh, Ira Heiden, sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm doing good.
That's great. So I have about a couple of questions for you. The first one isn't about A Nightmare on Elm Street, but it's how did you get your start into acting?
So I had moved out to California, and my mom used to work for this company, Members Only. I don't know if you remember the jackets. You may be a little too young for it, but in the 80s, they had these really cool jackets, and they were sponsoring a tennis tournament at the Forum in California. It was John McEnroe versus Jimmy Connors. And I got to go with my mom and hang out, and there was a party before at Jerry Buss's house, and this woman was watching me and said, "Hey, kid, you ever think about acting?" And turns out she was a manager. Her name is Marilyn Sherman, and she wanted to get me into the business. So I hooked up with her and started getting some work.
That's awesome. Awesome. So what was your audition like for A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors?
It was pretty cool. Once I found out that I had the audition, I was psyched. And I loved playing Dungeons and Dragons growing up, so I really felt close to the role and made it as much of me as it was Will Stanton. And had, I would probably say, about 5 interviews. My first initial pre-read with Annette Benson, the casting director, and then came back and she put me on tape. And then Chuck Russell watched the tape and brought me in, and then I had 2 more interviews with him, and that was the process. And then I found out that I got the job.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and you did a really good role in that. And I've always been
Thank you.
like a fan of magic and everything, so I really related to your character. So I thought
Cool,
it was
man.
really cool. Can you explain to everyone how it was filming your death scene and what all went into making it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it was, basically a long corridor that the crew had set up, and I had my cape on and everything, and it was broken down into different parts. They filmed me walking down the corridor with my pajamas, and then, Robert kind of laughs and then swings the wheelchair past me, and I jump back to the chair turning around, and then they cut back and forth, and then there's the he sends the chair after me, and that's when I fall down, and then get back up and turn into the Wizard Master and blow up the wheelchair, and then go after Freddy with my newfound powers. God, could you imagine if I had killed him, Scotty?
Oh,
Can
that
you
would have
imagine
been
if that was
great.
it?
That would have been awesome, right? Will would have been the
Oh,
hero.
a lot of people would have been so pissed off. But you're right. I would have been the hero, the pre Harry Potter hero. Um,
Exactly.
so there was also a part of the scenes where I'm on the ground. I say, "I am the Wizard Master. I am the Wizard Master," and the special effects have me lifting up, and that's when I get to blow up the wheelchair. But they actually had a board stuck under me, over my back,
Hmm.
under the cape, and lifted me up that way
Wow,
to make it look like I got up on my own, like my wizard powers.
that's awesome. Now the wheelchair was that all digitally generated, computer generated, or what? Did
Oh
they
no,
build something?
no, those were real, man. If you
Nice.
go onto my fan page on Facebook, our
Yes.
Hayden fan page, you'll see I took pictures of They had 2 chairs actually. They were like about 6 feet, and they
Wow,
had spikes coming out of them and everything. They were really, really cool.
that's
So no,
awesome.
those were real. Nothing was generated other than they had sparks on the end of my fingertips
Hmm.
for the Wizard Master scene.
Nice.
When I flashed them out, they made a flash, and then they added the special effects after of the wizardry stuff.
Nice. That's incredible. Did they like build any type of like cast or body cast or anything for when he did the stab?
Oh, when he stabbed me,
Yeah.
no
Okay.
body cast or anything.
Nice.
You know, the funny story, Scotty, is that
Yep.
those things were, his fingers were retractable. The blades,
Yeah.
they weren't working on my death day, so they ended up having to put a 2x4 over my heart.
Wow.
And the good thing, I'm blessed with Robert Englund. Not only is he a great actor, but he's got great aim.
Yeah.
So he knew exactly where to put the blades, and he hit his mark every time. Thank God.
That's great. I mean, that could have been a real life death there.
Yep.
It's funny because we just finished my production company just finished making our first independent movie, and it's out in select theaters in October. And we ended up on the CEO of my company. She plays the final girl in the movie, and she always said on set every time we were gonna do a death, she's like, "No real life deaths."
It's
So
true.
so it became a mantra of everything that we talk about now. Every time we talk about something, about making something or whatever, everybody says no real life deaths. It's hilarious, but it's true.
Nope, and everything.
Wow.
On a side note, Scotty, really quickly. So
Yep.
we were in Westwood, and my friend Pruitt, he had a buddy of his, John Schmidt, who worked at a place called Recorder Star, where you can go in and tape a song
Right.
for a certain amount of money and take that tape home, that cassette. So it was this really cool building that it was downstairs, but upstairs was like the restroom and stuff like that. And I shook John's hand in my wheelchair. I was like, "Hey, nice to meet you." He's like, "Hey, nice to meet you too." And I said, "Hey, do you have a restroom?" He goes, "Yeah, but it's upstairs." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I walked out of the wheelchair and got up and walked. He had no idea that I wasn't a cripple.
That is hilarious.
So we got to pull a fast one on poor John Schmidt, but
That's hilarious.
that was a lot of fun.
Awesome, and I mean, Freddy's one-liners, like we said, started in this one, and everybody is like, "Oh my God, I love the whole welcome to prime time, bitch." But I've always loved, I don't believe in fairy tales. I love that.
Yes.
That was great.
Oh God, I do believe in fairy tales, and I should have beat him.
Exactly.
One of the greatest things, I got a phone call from him like the day before we were getting ready to do our reading. And he goes, "Ira, it's Robert." I go, "God damn you, Robert. I should have killed you." He goes, "You didn't have a chance."
That's funny. The last question I got for you is, do you have any future projects that you would like to promote to our listeners?
I do. There's a show that we're putting together. It's a biopic about Brandon Lee, our friend, and it's mainly about told through Brandon's best friend's eyes, Bill Allen, and our buddy Ezra Gabe brought in his buddy Robbie Krieger, who wrote our song, the title song already. We have Lou Diamond Phillips, who co-wrote the script, and he's also our director. So we're just chasing down some money right now, and when we can get back to shooting, we'll probably shoot that soon. But we're also on a different project. Bill Allen and I are co-producing a documentary about Brandon, which is awesome. So.
Okay, awesome. So everybody that is listening to this would be able to keep an eye out on that. Check out Ira's his IMDb page. You can visit his Facebook fan page. Where else can everybody find you at?
That's really it, man. They're on at the Ira Hayden fan page.
All right.
That's the cool one, and I post all the good stuff and
Awesome.
Things on there.
Sounds good. That's how I got in touch with you.
That's right, Scotty.
Yep. Thank you so much for your time. I am so glad we were able to make this happen. I know we had it planned last year, and things fell through. I know you had a meeting with the director, and things kind of fell through. And then I stopped doing the podcast for a little bit because I got really busy with work and everything. And then now a year later, literally a year and a month to the day, I'm actually, from when we last spoke, I'm actually doing the interview, which is awesome.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for your time, Ira.
Absolutely, Scotty.
All right, you have a good day and stay safe.